requirement, whether it is inbound process, outbound, or internal process, that we want to carry out some value added service, such as putting additional label on the package, product, or on the box. Then those can be handled through the standard EWM functionality called as value added service, or VAS. So VAS is part of uh, you know the process oriented storage control. Now there are, for VAS we have different options like reverse kitting process, and then the standard VAS, wherein you will use the work step as a, so work step is a master data wherein you can mention in the text format what exactly the operator needs to do, and then the operator can refer to that and carry out the activity at the VAS work center. So we'll see the configuration and the master data required for it, and the end user part. So some of the details are mentioned here. So packspec, we need to certainly maintain the packspec, using which system understand which steps or how many steps for the VAS needs to be performed. So if you are maintaining 3 levels in the packspec, it means that there are three, for the VAS order there will be 3 steps which needs to be performed. It could be that you're performing those 3 steps at the different work center dedicated for your VAS activity. Now work center, so there is nothing special in terms of VAS as far as the work center creation goes. As long as you know how to create the work center and the relevant data like storage type and the bin, then we can use the same one steps here to define it. Now there are two options in POSC. One is rule based and without it. So the concept of rule based in case of VAS is a bit different as compared to the other steps, which are like unloading, packing, etc., or deconsolidation. Generally, the meaning of rule-based checkbox is that SAP provides a specific or dedicated T code depending upon that step for which you are activating rule-based, and over there you can maintain the logic to determine the bin for the work center. Now, for example, for the unloading step IB01, the staging area determination T code is there, which can be used for inbound, and of course it you need to maintain the access sequence. Without it, it will not work. Then for decon, there is a separate option wherein you can maintain the in the configuration you can maintain the details for the determination of destination bin depending upon source and source activity area or storage type. Now for outbound, like for the loading step, again this is the transaction code is similar to it, which you can utilize to maintain. Now for in terms of loading and door and staging determination, it is the same transaction code. Likewise, so in the other steps, there are dedicated transaction code which you can utilize to maintain the determination of destination bin, where and then using the work center associated, to carry out the handling activity on the handling unit. Now for packing also there is a separate transaction code, but in case of value added service and quality inspection, the concept for rule base is bit different. The purpose is that if your handling unit doesn't, the content of handling unit, if none of them are relevant for value added service, right? Which means if there is no VAS order created, then system will not route the box to VAS work center. Likewise, if there is no quality inspection needed for any of the content of the box there or the pallet, then system will not route it to the quality work center, and it is going to at the runtime skip it. So if you want to skip these steps, if there is no associated master data or transactional data generated like VAS order, or there is no inspection log, then you want system to skip it, then you need to activate the rule based checkbox. Now, apart from these two steps, the concept for the other steps is a bit different. As you can see, there is a specific T code wherein you can, or in case of deconsolidation, you can go to the configuration, maintain the bin determination, destination bin determination based on certain information. Now, here there is no dedicated T code. So, if you, and I will show that if you are activating the rule based checkbox for any of these steps which you spoke about, like unloading, for example, and you are also trying to maintain the bin, destination bin in the config in POSC, you'll get the error. But you are not going to run into any error if you are maintaining the destination bin and also activating the rule-based checkbox. So, which means that these two are, exception. These two fall under the exception as far as the rule-based checkbox, the purpose of rule-based checkbox goes. Now, SAP could have given a separate column or a separate box wherein you could activate or deactivate the skipping of these steps if there is no relevant transactional data. But SAP has utilized the same checkbox which is called rule based to create that dynamic situation based on which a system can or may not skip the step. But at the same time, even though you're marking the checkbox, you can still maintain and you have to maintain the destination bin details over there, because there is no dedicated T code created for these to maintain as rule or details wherein the system can determine the bin. So we are going to check. This is a very important point which I just mentioned, that you can test and see. Now we can create the we can reduce or we can make it specific that for certain product only the VAS order should be created. So VAS order, similar to WPT, is at a line item level. It's not that, because you might have, let's say in an inbound delivery you have 4 line items, but only for second line item you want to carry out the VAS activity, right? So it is at item level. So you can restrict the creation of the VAS order based on the product, and these are the product group and product type which are maintained in the system. Based on that system material master, and which system will determine, okay, it is relevant for VAS, and then it will trigger the search for packspec and whatnot, right? You can also keep it very generic, that you will only mention the document type, because you want to avoid the additional master data maintenance. Just by maintaining the document type, it doesn't mean that the VAS will be order will be created, right? For VAS order creation, you need a packspec. So if out of 4 line item you maintain it for just for one, and you are activated a document type level, it will still create the VAS order only for the relevant line item, which is the second one, and not for the other. Now the thing is that if you have packed all the 4 line items, out of which 3 doesn't require VAS, only one require VAS, the box still has to be routed to the VAS work center. As you would know that, excuse me, as you would know that the POSC is at the handling unit level, right? It is not at the item level. So, and at the HU level, header level, you have the field called POSC. So it has to be populated, which means that once it is populated, the box, gets that value, and the box will be routed. All the content within the box will be routed to VAS work center or quality, even though only few of the line item or one of the line item is relevant for quality or VAS activity. Rest of them are not relevant. So which means that the operator has to then, based on system information available in the system, operator has to carry out the activity on the specific line item. And the VAS order, we can see that we can navigate to the VAS order from the line item level as well. Now work step, there is a specific T code using which we can maintain the information that pick up the red product and put blue label. So it's a descriptive information, right? So we'll see the pack spec, and then we can through the and it is maintained in the pack spec, and we can see the details at the VAS work center. So moving further, now let's jump to the system. So let's dive into the system right away. Now this is a pictorial view. You can understand that now VAS can happen before or after decon. So there is a specific sequence which SAP provides that you cannot change that. Like the unloading has to happen at the beginning. You cannot move it in between or at the end, right? So it's based on the logical movement. So VAS can be before, after decon, or your process can even start from VAS. Now if your process is starting from directly in your POSC, and that's what we are going to see. If you are going to see that the process is directly starting from VAS, which means there is it's gonna be a simple unloading, because we're gonna skip that, right? There will not be IP01. There is no tracking of box from door to staging area. So since our process is going to start in the POC from VAS, it is certainly a simple unloading, wherein you can update the status of the box that it has been physically received, but GR won't be triggered or doesn't happen at that point of time. Now SAP only allows the GR to be updated in certain type of bin, of certain type of storage type. Either it should be categorized as door, it should be staging area, or staging a work center of the staging area group. There is a specific note which speaks about it. So it doesn't mean that just because our process is starting from VAS, we have to do a GR here. The GR will happen at the staging area, and then so the goods movement bin is going to be our staging area, and then from staging area there will be a warehouse task which will move the product over to VAS. Even though the unloading step is not captured, but still this step is very much needed, that even though the first thing which will happen in the process is VAS activity. So you will do the good receipt, you can do it via PRDI or via RFUI that we are going to see now in the system. So let's dive into the system right away. So we can have Ariba integration with Ariba to through which ASN can be created, or EDI. Or in this case, assuming that vendor has sent an email once he has shipped the product, I'm mimicking or entering the detail by copying the information from the email into the system. So advanced shipping notification is the information that vendor will tell you that how much quantity he has shipped and which batches, etc. Before the product physically arrives in your warehouse. So this will help in pre-planning certain activity. You can just see the workload based on this if you're using labor management. So labor management terms is uh, it's not particularly just to give you certain detail how much effort or the time taken by operator. You can also see the workload, so which is coming your way in the warehouse. So it basically it gets triggered based on the activity. For activity direct in the activity maintained in the WPT, you have to maintain the relevant information, and that then it gets triggered. So again, we are not talking about labor management, so I'll skip it. Now jumping into the PRDI transaction and looking at the delivery is available. So there are a couple of options, right? So the delivery which is created in S4 is called as LE delivery, be it inbound, outbound, and whatnot. So it is called as LE delivery because the number range not necessarily will always be same. It can be a different number range, but there is a checkbox in the document type level where you mark it. Then system will bring the number range, make the number range same for the EWM document as well as the S4 document. Now that our delivery has been received and there is a PPI which I maintained to create the warehouse task so that I don't have to create it manually. Now the purpose of this warehouse task is to move the product from staging area and bring it over to the VAS work center. So let's go into the warehouse monitor and see the detail of the warehouse order and assign it to the queue. If the resource management part is done properly, I hate it when system does this. So when the if the resource management is done properly based on your WPT source, destination, activity area, etc., you can determine a queue. And in my case, I have not done that, so there won't be any queue assigned to that. So let's take a look. If I'm lucky, I would probably get a queue determined, but I'm not so hopeful. So we can assign the queue directly going into the warehouse monitor. That's not a big deal. So you can see that there is no queue assigned. So we will go and assign the queue here. Now, see, in the real time, operator will not be actually looking into the warehouse monitor. It's not that they cannot, they can, but they would not. So the physically the box is sitting in front, at the staging area, because we are physically it might have received a door, but technically, let's say it's at the staging area. Now what you need to do is go to RFUI, and the first step we want to do is we want to capture that product is physically received in the warehouse, and it should not trigger any GR, and it should not also require any warehouse task. So the warehouse task which we have created, it's for moving the product from staging area to move from the staging area to the VAS work center, and we should be moving that using that warehouse task. I'll let me display it. So first we have to pose the GR, right? Then only we should be doing it. Without the GR, it doesn't make sense to process this warehouse task. If we do that, I think it will generate another queue to create a dependency that a GR will arrive or will happen, and then the queue gets cleared when the GR is posted. Now, anyway, so this is the staging area to destination, but the activity we are performing right now doesn't require a warehouse task because it updates the status in the handling unit as unloaded, and that's all it's going to do. There is no movement of the box which is happening. So now we have done it, and you can still see that the warehouse task status is still blank, right? Because we have not even yet posted the GR. Now to post the GR, what we are going to do is, again, we are going to use the RFUI transaction and navigate to receive of handling unit option, then go to the delivery option. And if you have multiple boxes, you can choose which box you want to process. If you have a scan handle device, you can scan it, because physically operator will have the assuming operator has the barcode on the box. If they don't have, you have to print it and then you have to put it. Now you can see that pack completion is already done because it is in HU, and the warehouse task is for the first step is already created. So now we are going to we are not making any modification, not repacking, etc. So we will and unloading, if we let's click on it, it won't do anything because it is for uh, yeah, so we are not dealing with the complex unloading, so that's irrelevant anyways. Now we have done the good receipt posting. So once it is done, the status will be updated for the inbound delivery that the GR is done. Now once the good receipt is posted in the system, the operator so what the operator is going to do is, they have the box and the barcode in front of them, right? So now they're going to scan the handling unit number, and that handling unit number should tell them what is the next step destination for it. Now when we process the handling unit or the warehouse order on the RF system, first assigns the box to the resource, because the resource operator or the resource may or may not complete the transaction. So system assigns the box to the operator. So you will notice that at times when the operator abruptly comes out of the transaction, you will notice that the box is not displayed at the destination or source bin. It is displayed as an in transit on the resource level. So if you look at it, you will see a couple of additional warehouse tasks getting created. So this one is for the resource, you know, uh, so at the extreme right, you can see, the resource. So while you're testing, you can check that it is going to the resource. Now, once it is done, you can process on the RF also, but we are going to process on the VAS execution transaction code, because in RF it's not so much flexible. Now we will scan the handling unit again, because all operator has in front of him is the box number or the pallet number. They're going to scan it, and system will physically, the box has been moved to the work center, so they pick up the box, the label, and there are two steps in this. Now there are separate work centers, so we are going to respond, this operator is responsible to just complete this step number one. So we will select it. It is, there isn't much, there is no scanning capability here. I mean, of course you can use a tethered scanner to scan the data, which means that the handle device has to pass out the data and provide the number without any, because there is, these are not GS1 or scanning field, there is no logic behind them. So if you are using tethered scanner, you can to scan the data, but the data should be already in the readable format by the system. There is no decoding happening here. Now once you have completed it, select the checkbox and close the step. Once you will close it, so assuming that my work center has 10 boxes, and the operator doesn't pick each box, so first it goes to a trolley, and from trolley it goes to the next work center, or via there is a lift. Let's say it's on the first floor, second ground floor, then the box goes to the next floor, first floor, wherein you have the other work center. So there is a POSC active in the system. Sorry, in on top of POC there is a LOSC activated. So you will find that there are some additional warehouse tasks created, and then we will understand what is the purpose of each warehouse task. So you can see that these two, this is the assignment to resource, so we can ignore it now. This is the warehouse task which says that the box has to move from this work center to next one, but then it is in the block status because there is a PUSA triggered. Now ignore the description of this. This is not stock removal, but so this is the vast step still. So we are moving from here to trolley, and like we have seen earlier that the operator doesn't know anything. They just scan the handling unit barcode in this transaction. If there is a queue assigned, so let me assign the queue. There is no queue assigned. Then the operator will just log in into a dedicated queue, and the work will present to them that this needs to be done. So again, I have not created any dedicated queue. Yeah, it's locked. So I have to come back out of this. So we have to use F7 as the key to come out of the transaction code. Okay, now let's process it. Hopefully it will work now. So what we are, because of the verification profile and etc setting, there is no source field which is coming to scan or displayed here. So now we are just scanning the destination, right? That this is the destination, that we are transferring the work from work center to this trolley, and we are confirming that this is the box. Now there should be a subsequent warehouse task which should have got created, because or should have turned into active to confirm the product has been received from trolley over to the VAS area, right? So you can see now this is active, so trolley to VAS. Now there is no resource, again there is no queue assigned to it, so I cannot process it on RF. I will again maintain the queue. Now once the queue is maintained, we will process it again on RF. So here we are saying yes, this is the box which we got from works, and okay, this is the box which we are removing from trolley over to the work center. So this step is done. Now what we are going to do here is quickly the box is available at the work center WVI2, and now we are going to process it. Again we will proceed with it. I will recommend that you keep also the status here as C, because once you will close the VAS order, system will give a message that because you still have to close the HU step, right? So best to keep C also here. So without C you can test it and you will get to see some message. Just to avoid that message, I'm entering the C also over there, that the VAS order which are closed out are also displayed here if the associated HU is here. So now again, so in VAS you can see the activity, auxiliary, product, etc. So there is a packspec also which you can. So if you maintain the work step, and if you click on packspec, you can see uh, detail from the work step. So it, in my case, it was added in the first step. So I doubt that it will show anything here, but let's give it a try. Yeah, both are in the same VAS order, both the steps. So you can see work step says print label. So this will give this a descriptive information. So you can just mention it here, and whatever you'll mention, that move the product on the right side, left side, turn it around, put a label on the left side again, turn it around, put a label on the right side, then operator will get to know. And there is a PPF also involved with the VAS order. The determination for condition record is maintained directly in the configuration, and you can see that we will so see that also. Now, because I've added C as the completed checkbox status also, so I didn't get any message. Otherwise, I would have received one message that there are no open warehouse order, where a VAS order, and I could, system will throw me out of the screen. Now, I've closed the HU, right? Now, system will create, should have created another subsequent warehouse order for wherever is the next step. In this case, it will be the final put away. So let's click on the warehouse task button and jump directly over here. Then we will go navigate to the meanwhile while it's opening. So you can see the VAS order. If it is created, you can directly see the VAS order here, and you can also navigate from the delivery. So it is at the line item level. So this is the line item level. So information VAS order, you can navigate from here, or there is another option to navigate from this particular level. You can this is the navigation button. You can click here and then go to the VAS order. I spoke about the rule-based setting, which I'm going to show you in a bit. So I've not refreshed, so status is coming as not started, but it is these steps are already done. I must do. No, it's not yet. Yeah, I have not processed it completely. I have not refreshed, so it's not displaying. So you can. This is the VAS order. There is a specific transaction code. We'll see the transaction code, and this is the PPF. That at the VAS work center, the operator can print the labels, etc. So I've configured it. We'll take a look at the PPF also if the time permits, and then these are the two steps. Now the important thing is that in the pack spec you have to mention the step, and in the POSC configuration against this step you have to mention the storage type bin and the destination bin, and in the transaction code TWORKST you will mention the bin against that work center, and system will determine. So you have to make sure that you do this assignment, because the rule based function is bit different for it. Now this is how you navigate to the VAS order. Now one thing, let's quickly, so let's take a look at the, so this is the final put away task, which is saying move from VAS work center to the destination storage type. Now let's go quickly to the configuration. So there are two transaction code which we should take a look at. One is this one, the other one is where the transaction code wherein we will maintain the bin. And because sometimes you will notice that the work center is not determined, so make sure that the POC step is there. You have mentioned the bin, and then you maintained the relevant configuration here. Now let's go to the packspec T code. So to maintain the packspec, we will use the standard packspec group for VAS. I think there is one. So unless it is for kitting there is a checkbox which you need to map. So by using this in the configuration, you have mapped two level set. So it will by default, it will default two level set, and there is a separate number range. Now, if you click on this, So in this step, this is based on condition technique. So there is a condition table created in the configuration which has these two fields. Based on that, you have to then maintain relevant data. So we are not maintaining it based on certain vendor. So whenever we receive this product, irrespective of whether it is coming from plant, on plant, or from the vendor, the system is going to create a VAS order. Now VAS, what is VAS activity? It is basically certain sort of, it can be a user manual, right? So whenever you buy certain product, you get a user manual. So if you have to put that user manual in the box, it is, so, and this is where you maintain the work step. So we'll, if time permit, I'll show you the transaction code. The important thing here is when you come to this level, maintain the, if there are auxiliary packaging material, etc., then you have to use that. But otherwise, the important thing is that you will see that where external step VAS01 is defaulted because it is coming from configuration. Then the next thing, this is what is important for us. Uh, Otherwise, rest of the fields are optional depending upon whether you are doing bubble wrap, whatnot. You want to consume the material. Then it goes beyond it. Otherwise, it's not needed. There is no handling unit creation which is happening here, so it is irrelevant. Now just save it and that's it. The external step is the main thing. Save it, activate it, that's it. It's done. Now coming to the configuration. How the system knows that a step is VAS? Because each external step is mapped to an internal step. You can name it whatever, and then you have to mention it as VAS step. Now the important point here is that these steps you are going to enter in your storage process step, right? The sequence of it is what is POSA. It is the navigation path for that box. You're deciding, telling the path for it, like your parents will or can suggest what is your path in your life, that do study this and go to this college and whatnot. Likewise, here we are telling its path. Now there is no unloading step, so for us the relevant step is this one. We are saying from wherever it is coming, door, staging area, quality area, deconsolidation area, doesn't matter. So source can be anything. The Whenever this step is triggered from your POSC, and then this is the process type, this is the storage type, and this is the bin. The rule-based checkbox, I did mention earlier that it is only the purpose of rule-based checkbox here is bit different. It is whether to skip movement of box to this VAS work center or not. If there is a VAS order, then yes, move it. Otherwise, just skip it. That's what it has to do. Now, as far as the other steps are concerned, if you cannot mention both value, like you're maintaining this value and mentioning here, marking the rule based checkbox also, system will give the error, right? So either of it, and you can see this is an exception, and this exception also applies to quality inspection area step. Now if I quickly jump here, I can the POSC part, I'm just uh, so let me, so my POSC part, POSC is similar to what we have here. These are the steps we have to mention. So if there are two work centers, right, so two times you have to mention here, and this checkbox means once this step is done, for the next step, warehouse task should be created. Once this is done, warehouse task for the moving the box to the next step should be done, and that is why you see there is no checkbox marked, because there is no next step, right? And then I did skip one part here. So like you've done for VAS01, you have to do it for VAS02. Why we have not mentioned here anything? Because we are saying from wherever, doesn't matter, it is coming from trolley or it is coming directly from staging area. Always move to this destination bin. And so if you want to make it specific that only when it comes from this particular area, then it goes here. Or you want to say that if it is coming from the deconsolidation area, move to a different bin, versus if it is coming to quality area, move to this bin. If it is coming to staging area, move to this. So it is based on this two source and destination, you can maintain it. Now quickly jumping on the last part of the setup, we did see the packspec. It is important that you activate the packspec once you have maintained the data. POSC is maintained in your WPT, and WPT is determined based on document type, product, process type, indicator determination, indicator, item type, etc. Now the important part which we want to see for VAS is used in all the areas, so it is under cross process setting. Define the number range. There is no special thing which has to be explained here. Activate the order document management. Sometimes I've seen that the error comes, so activate this checkbox. There is a just checkbox, don't have to do anything. Define relevance for VAS. This is an important factor. Do you want to restrict your VAS order creation or search for VAS based on specific item type, that only when the material delivery line item has a specific item type, then only it should be created? Or you want that any item type, but the document type has to be this, and material master if set up for VAS. See, even if you're using this one, doesn't mean that the VAS order will be created, right? There has to be pack spec. So you can also maintain it like this, and then even then it will work, because unless you maintain the pack spec, but make sure you do this setting. So sometime the VAS order is not getting created, then go to the VAS creation, order creation transaction directly, enter the pack spec and your delivery number, and check what is the reason. So VAS can be used for kitting process, which I will post in another video. This is for your, so yeah, maintain the number range over here in this configuration. This is for a consumption for auxiliary product. Yeah, maintain the detail. And the product type, you are declaring like which product type and product group should be considered for VAS activity. So go that, you can read the F1. I think there isn't much. Yeah, so these are the values should be maintained in the material master. Then system will understand, okay, this is for VAS, and then it will trigger the VAS determination, the pack spec for VAS, etc. Now these are the core setting which needs to be done in the system. But the most important setup is the VAS